Today we're talking about Rob Reiner and his wife Michele Reiner, who were tragically murdered in their own home. Rob was an American filmmaker as well as an actor, and on the 14th of December 2025, Rob and his wife were found by their daughter Romy. They had been murdered in their home. Reports are that they were found in their bed with slit throats, found by their daughter Romy, who then raised the alarm for the police and the ambulance to come out to assist her parents. There are some reports that when the police first responded, that Romy had mentioned to the police that Nick should be the suspect. Nick is the son of Rob and Michele. With Nick, he had loads of problems since he was a teenager. Drug abuse, had mental health issues, and also Nick is on record as saying he's been to rehab over 17 times. Rob and Michele were found in their home murdered on Sunday, the 14th of December 2025. However, on Saturday, the 13th of December, Rob, Michele and Nick attended one of Rob's friends' parties. And at that party, reports were coming out to say that Nick was acting very erratically. He was going up to other guests at the party, asking them what is their first name, what is their last name, are they famous? It's being said it made the party guests uncomfortable. Nick was asked to leave the party. However, Rob and Michele didn't want Nick to be on his own, so they decided to leave as well with him. As they were leaving, the reports are that there was an argument between Rob and Nick, which was quite heated. And on the Sunday, Michele had an appointment. However, she wasn't answering her phone, or she couldn't be reached. And that's how their daughter Romy was contacted to let her know that couldn't reach Michele for her appointment. Romy went to the property, and that's how she discovered her parents murdered in the house. And following that, it was a few hours and Nick was found and arrested and charged in the murder of his parents. The situation is so tragic because recently videos have come out of Rob talking about his children and how he loves them so much, but in particular with Nick, who was having the drug problems and also the mental health problems. Rob actually directed a film that was loosely based around Nick and some of the troubles that he was going through. From the interviews from the movie that Rob directed of Nick, he was talking about, having a closeness with his son and getting to learn in terms of some of the issues that he was encountering. In those interviews, Nick spoke about rehab treatments and the number of times that he's gone to rehab. It's been reported that Nick was back staying with his parents in the guest house. At some points, him living there, he'd trashed the guest house. From the sounds of some of the information that's coming out, that he was just a troubled person, and his parents did everything that they could to try and help him and to try and get him clean and sober and on the right path. However, recently was shared that Nick was diagnosed with schizophrenia and that he was in treatment, although that was outpatient, so he was staying at home still. There are also some reports Rob and Michele mentioned that they were afraid of Nick. So again, just couldn't even begin to imagine in terms of maybe some of that terror that he caused them in the house. Also trying to love on him as parents, they thought that they could manage his problems, but that didn't happen because he ended up murdering both of them. Nick has appeared in court charged with his parents' murder in December 2025. He has on record mental health issues, drug addiction, tragic all round, and also begs the question as maybe he wasn't presenting as severe to have him in a facility where they could manage and look after his health that way. He was doing it all on outpatients. Although in some of the reports that he was refusing inpatient treatments, was he actually being looked after by medical professionals? And also what that rationale would have been to allow him to be home, especially as there are loads of reports now reporting that he was acting very erratically leading up to his parents' murders. Really sad situation all round, and to think that the daughter found her parents, which again is really horrific. Nick is still their brother, but their brother has murdered their parents. couldn't even be imagined the grief that the family must be feeling, and especially this time of year coming up to Christmas, which is really tragic. The Reiner family home was shown, Christmas lights are on, and also some of the neighbours have said that they were quite big on Christmas, like enjoyed the season. So they were ready for it, they were preparing for it until their life was cut short, which is really sad and tragic. We'll follow up in terms of the progress of Nick's case in the new year. In the interim, really sad for the family, and Rob and Michelle, rest in peace.